Hi, welcome to episode 40. So happy to have you back here with us. And Eve, where are we at today?
Well, today, before we start this new episode, I think I would like to talk a little bit about the last or previous two episodes. The
Okay.
great plan and the
Right.
wedding.
Right. Okay.
And just to give our audience a summary of the great plan, just to make sure that we understand what's going on.
Okay.
So my understanding is that on a regular basis, to help with the development of human people, of humankind in general,
Mm-hmm.
there are some avatars that are being sent on
Right.
this planet.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they normally arrive in an area that requires a lot of work, more specifically. They are trying to target, well, you will not send an avatar in North America if the Middle East needs some,
Right.
reshuffling and some help.
Right.
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 So anyway, when Yeshua was sent to Palestine, it was because they needed to have some kind of shake.
Well, there was a lot of marauding going on, a lot of people being killed, lots of things happening that we found in the Old Testament that Yahweh had sent to murder,
Yes,
desecrate areas, and everybody had to be killed. The men, women, and children all had to be killed for whatever reason.
for whatever reason.
They all
yes.
had to be murdered. And I think it was a beautiful, holy place that was there, but there was a lot of negative forces there
Negative
as well.
forces, yeah.
And I think that Yeshua was brought in to raise the vibrational frequency of this planet and to assist people there and to show them the way that it is all about loving each other. I mean, it was all, Christ's journey here was to teach us that the most important thing was to love each other and to obey the 10 Commandments and to love him. And that's all that we really needed. And what we were getting was just a lot of negativity.
Negativity, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, Yeshua is a master, is an avatar, and there have been many before him, and hopefully there will be a few after him. And we can name a few, like Zoroaster, about 3,500 years ago. Then we had Buddha, probably about 28 or 3,000 years ago. Moses also in the Middle East. Then Yeshua, of course. Later on Mohammed, who created the Islamic religion.
Yeah, it's all right. They're all coming different.
They come in different times,
right?
When the need is really
exactly
necessary.
Right.
And of course, the scripture says that Yeshua is the Son of God, but we should never forget that we all are Son of God.
All of us.
Yeah.
Not just chosen people, but everybody.
Yeshua is a master, so of course he has had many more incarnations and many more experience than we do.
Right.
He's much more advanced. So the other stuff I want to talk about is the wedding, okay? And the wedding between Yeshua and Miriam took place because they needed to anchor the love and the respect for the female energy and the male energy and combine them and anchor that on the planet, okay? Right. It's obvious that Yeshua could have lived without being married, without loving Mary of Magdalena or Miriam.
Right.
But the fact that they were both together had a purpose. And even though we may not understand what it is extremely important from a vibrational point of view.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, of course, later on, the church just ignored that and didn't want to even think about it, and try to keep Yeshua as the Son of God, untouchable, incorruptible, like being married was a corruption, And, of course.
And just the way they portrayed the female.
Yeah,
right?
They portrayed the female in a horrible way.
Really horrible.
Because the man who wrote most of the New Testament, was a bitter, angry, alcoholic, and violent ex-husband of Mary Magdalene.
Gee, that's not written in any of the scriptures
No, but we have to
read.
say it.
But we have to say.
So anyway,
Oh boy.
in the episode 40, we're going to be talking about the secret of the temple, or the blueprint of the temples. And we're going to be actually following some of the teachings of Yeshua. So it has been 2 days since the wedding of Miriam and Yeshua, and they moved together into a small fishing shack that was given to him near Capharnaum, in the shore of the lake.
Right.
And Yeshua has decided early morning to walk along the shore as he does, as he likes to do it. He likes to get up very early and
Have his alone time.
Yeah, it is a way for him to pierce one of these numerous veils that are separating the different worlds, right? Our 3D world, but also the 4D world. So for him, it was an opportunity to go beyond, the matrix world. And for Yeshua, one mystery remains. It's the death of Yo-Hanan, okay? And who had been beheaded by Herod. So again, the scriptures are talking about, why, according to them, why Yo-Hanan was beheaded. Was some kind of, he was saying bad things about the Salome and Herod. I mean, anyway, it needed to be executed, to stop, something like that. But we're gonna, today, with the memory of nature, we're gonna bring a different picture, a different spin to that false story.
Right.
Okay. And so while Yeshua is walking on the shores, he's wondering, yes, what happened? What happened to you? Okay. And Yeshua knows that it is always better to leave the dead people among the dead, and give them the time to adjust to their new conditions, right? And I think this is something we should always do. You should not try to get in touch with someone who just died. You should wait, a significant.
Although sometimes they come to visit you when they're dead and they're still
before dying. Yes, or shortly after.
Shortly after they do.
Because they are still linked to our 3D world.
Right.
Yes. But however, with Yo-Hanan, he knew it was different because the soul of Yo-Hanan was exceptional. And Yeshua had felt multiple times that a message was to be delivered to him. So it was time now for him to get in touch and, communicate with Yo-Hanan. And so Yeshua is going inside himself, and after a little while, he managed to join Yo-Hanan on the astral plane. And there was first a moment for Yeshua of absolute silence. And then he sees himself walking in the direction of Yo-Hanan. And Yo-Hanan is also walking in the direction of Yeshua, right? And one facing the other. They meet on a bridge of living and magnificent light. And we have to picture that bridge as a bridge actually between the 3D world, physical world, and the astral world. Okay? And Yeshua talks to Yo-Hanan and he says, what happened? I see you here in the sun and in peace, but I know that this peace aspires to become larger. So tell me. And so Yo-Hanan is going to smile back to Yeshua with a perfect face. And interestingly, all the wrinkles he had on his face, his gray hair, whatever, have disappeared. He does not have to speak also. The message goes directly into the head,
telepathically
and the mind
communicating
of Yeshua. And he goes, Yeshua, my brother, master, it is thanks to those 3 faces of you that I must tell you the truth before going back home. Listen to what I'm telling you. And so Yo-Hanan is going to start telling what happened during the last weeks in his cells in the fortress of Herod. And he's sharing those words, but also the picture from his heart. Okay? So, Yeshua can not only hear him, but at the same time perceive the images, the pictures. And so multiple times, Yo-Hanan has been taken in front of Herod, having to respond to the same and obsessive questions. And those questions are, what was he searching on the shores of the Yared River? As the audience may remember, Yo-Hanan, John the Baptist, was baptizing, hundreds and hundreds of people
Right. Yeah.
on that place. So Herod is wondering, what was he doing there? The other question was, where was the hide of the armed men motivated by Yo-Hanan? So Herod was absolutely convinced that there was an army of people, soldiers, waiting to attack him.
Oh,
and those
okay.
soldiers were, being driven and motivated by Yo-Hanan.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well, I mean,
The paranoia.
Herod is a
Yeah.
military person.
Yeah.
We know he's extremely cruel. He's probably weak also in a lot of ways, and so he's paranoid. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's the right word. Yeah. The other question was, what were these powers? His ability to project himself and appear with different faces. So again, we know Yo-Hanan was not projecting himself. He was not appearing with different faces. He was just a regular human being, He's a master, but still.
Right.
So I guess there is probably from Herod a confusion between Yo-Hanan and Yeshua.
Yeah.
At that time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He might have thought, that's right. Okay.
The other question was all this real? What was the magic behind it? And then one day, things changed with Yo-Hanan. A young woman named Salome came while he was being interrogated. And she seemed to be the daughter of Herod in light of the freedom that she was enjoying and the way she was approaching him despite his scantily and stinky attire,
Right.
And so we have to picture, this young woman, Salome, being able to come into the room where Yo-Hanan is being interrogated and perhaps
why would
even
she
tortured.
be in there? Yeah.
And so you wonder, she must be very influent and very powerful at the same time. So in the scripture, they claim that she's the adopted daughter of Herod. The memories are indicating that she seems to be the daughter of Herod. So I guess it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, adopted or regular, whatever. Yeah.
And so Yo-Hanan now found that woman, very beautiful and attractive, and she started visiting him in his cell. 2, 3, 4 times, and he was wondering, what did she want?
Right.
So he's wondering, was she sent by her father? Maybe she was trying to find information, using a different approach.
Right.
Instead of the torture and the brutal interrogation, she was using a more subtle approach, to find the answer, And Yo-Hanan is telling Yeshua, Salome's question were always insidious, until one day there was no more questions. So she came in his cells, and her hand started replacing the questions. She was touching him seductively among his long hair and playing with his long beard. So stupor,
not going to end well.
and unexpected pleasures arise in the heart and body of Yo-Hanan, because he had never imagined or lived this kind of feeling before.
Right, yeah.
I mean, Yo-Hanan basically grew up in the desert among the Anacorets, and the wise people. And then he was baptizing. I mean, he never had any sexual relations or intimate relation with a woman, besides pushing them into the Yared River during the baptism.
To baptize them.
That's all he was doing. And because Salome was beautiful and soft, he let her touch him. And he's wondering, was the animality of his body attracting and pleasing a woman?
Yeah, it's like, I don't really look my best right now. Here I am.
And he's also wondering, if this is true, maybe she would manage to free him. So the dilemma was daunting. It was very hard for Yo-Hanan. And Yo-Hanan is going to start tormenting himself, feeling guilty of that relation, and then developing a fault that he has to repent. And finally, he rejected all interactions with Salome and approaches, and he told her, do not come back into my room. I do not want you. It was final from his point of view.
Yeah.
And because of the rejection to Salome, Yo-Hanan knew that he was probably expecting some kind of vengeance.
Provoking something.
Yeah, he is definitely provoking something. Yeah. And that revenge took place one night of heavy drinking when Salome was actually drunk. She accused Yo-Hanan to try to abuse her. And Herod dragged Yo-Hanan in front of him and beheaded him.
Wow, right then and there.
Yeah, right there.
No questions asked.
Yeah, it took
he was just looking for the excuse.
Right. It just took a single blow of a sword, to put an end to the life of Yo-Hanan.
Oh my gosh.
John the Baptist.
Horrific.
And, that woman didn't appreciate that she was rejected. So, in the bridge of light between the Yeshua and Yo-Hanan, Yeshua can see the images and the smell of the blood during the beheading, and he's also hugging his brother of soul one last time, because they will not meet again, during this this period, during this lifetime. And suddenly the bridge contracts, and Yeshua is again in his body on the shores of the lake. He's back. And it seems like in Galilee, the day was not up yet. And it seemed that all this interaction took place within the blinking of an eye. And the lake of Kinnereth, the lake we are talking about, is like a mirror. And a few steps away, Miriam was still curled under a blanket in the little fishing shack. So nothing has changed, He has this incredible interaction with Yo-Hanan and the unveiling of what happened between Yo-Hanan, Herod, and Salome. And now, he's back again into his physical body. And this is a story, and this is an interaction that Yeshua does not want to share with anybody. Okay?
Yeah, it's best to leave that.
Right. And this was way too personal, and actually he has never told that story to anybody. And this is why the scripture had to invent a reason for Yo-Hanan to be beheaded. However, Yeshua is going to use Yo-Hanan experience for new teachings within his disciples at this point, And he's also wondering if his cousin would have been freed if he had responded to the appetites of Salome.
I wonder what her real motivation was anyway. Why would she be attracted to going to him?
I think at the beginning she may have been sent as a spy, trying to find some answers, But at the end, she probably was physically attracted to Yo-Hanan.
And maybe she just wanted to understand a little bit more about what he was doing.
Yes,
right?
It could be.
She was probably very curious.
Right. We're going to see, I'm glad you brought that, because we're going to see that same behavior with the wife of the procurator of Judea.
Oh, okay.
Pontius Pilate.
Oh, Pontius Pilate's wife.
Yeah, his wife is going to join Yeshua and his disciples.
Oh, that's
secretly. Yes.
Uh-oh.
So the most important for Yeshua, is this sad story. He realized that Yo-Hanan's soul has not obtained total freedom in this lifetime. He's thinking about what happened and why Yo-Hanan had this behavior. And he realized that Yo-Hanan had not managed to go beyond the stage of the flesh versus the spirit struggle,
Right.
He was still making a distinction between, the body, the flesh, and the spirit. And not so much for not falling for the troubling charm of the daughter of Herod, but because his human personality fell into the labyrinth of an imaginary guilt.
Oh,
so instead of taking it maybe with more is uh, being more debonair about it,
Right.
he created himself this guilt
Mm-hmm.
about what Salome was offering to him.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was straight and narrow.
Yeah, and Yeshua realized, that Yo-Hanan, having lived an entire life in the interdiction of the opposite sex,
Right.
Yo-Hanan has left a part of this being dry, and he found an abyss in which he had projected his death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so he heard a voice, "What are you thinking, Rabuni?" And this is Miriam. She just joined Yeshua on the beach. And Yeshua tells her, I was thinking about the fracture from which everybody suffers in this world. I was thinking about the obligations and the prohibitions that are creating a fight between the earth and the skies. I was thinking about the human soul who knows how to invent borders and mistakes and sins when in fact there is nothing.
So true. The humans have created all of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he tells Miriam, finally, I was thinking about all the beliefs and dogmas of the world, which are just instruments for self-punishment among the humans.
Yeah. Guilt.
Yeah.
Lots of guilt.
Guilt and self-punishment, exactly. He said, everything is an insidious dogma, Miriam. And where there is dogma, there is death. Dogmas petrify, immobilize. They are the opposite of life, which is in perpetual motion. And this is also one of the reasons why Yeshua never wants to have anything written and never wrote anything by himself. Because, as soon as you put it in writing, it becomes a dogma.
Right. It does. It really does. Yeah.
And especially if you bring it, you put a little spin to it.
Right. Which a lot of things have been spun.
Yes.
In the wordings.
So a few more days went by, spent in teachings and healing between Bethsaida and Capernaum, And to be honest, for most people, the union between Yeshua and Miriam did not surprise anybody. They see the tall rabbi in white was married, and that was all.
Right.
This was common and normal, right? I mean, all rabbis were married. They had to, right? And even better, some Pharisees and Sadducees were actually quite happy with this decision.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Well, this way they thought the tall rabbi in white, will not be seen with so many different women hanging here and there.
Oh boy.
So for
they're
them,
in for a surprise.
For them, it was a big victory, However, during that time, the Christic fire energy, which is inside Yeshua, is rising and still pushing him, And it was also the time when Judah, that had been healed from a wound in his leg, came to join the disciples. I mean, we met Judah when Yeshua was in Jerusalem, and I think he did a big group healing on that day, like 30 people in one shot,
Yeah.
And Judah was part of these people. Okay? And so Yeshua finds Judah's soul feverish and intense, but true, and he invites him into his heart, Actually, Yeshua does not like people who are like lukewarm people, like fence-sitter.
Right.
And he prefers excessive characters, and Judas was one of them.
He's going to speak his truth.
Yeah. So it's the first months of Judah among the group are not easy, Judah is a scholar, and he does not hide it,
Oh.
He's very vain, and he's aspiring to a different status. He sees most of the disciples being common people, fishermen, or women, housewives, and stuff like that.
Right.
And he doesn't want to be mingled with those people.
Okay.
He's in his mind, he's above them, And contrary to the fishermen, such as Peter, Andrew, Bartholomew, who are carrying their knives, also Judah is no longer carrying his knife.
Oh.
I guess his wound in the leg probably helped him, get rid of that.
Okay, yeah.
And Yeshua is also discovering a form of rivalry, a competition between Judah and Eliazar.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
He wants to be the best.
Yeah, both are scholars,
Right,
both
right.
are passionate, and both are pretending to be Yeshua's favorite.
Right. It's pretty funny.
And Yeshua is thinking about it, and he's wondering, the first place, that had no meaning for Yeshua, right? The first, the last, right?
Yeah.
What scale are we talking about?
Right.
Right?
Yeah. It's like loving your children. You love them the same, right?
Yes,
It doesn't matter.
And Yeshua is wondering, was there a competition to reach the divine?
It's unconditional love, right?
Right, absolutely. And Yeshua is insisting that the following saying, the first one will be the last ones, and reciprocally is not from him. Yeah, I don't know. I think this sentence is somewhere buried into the Bible, but it is not for him. Okay, and in his opinion, the karmic law is not a competition or revenge to pass from one lifetime to the next.
Oh, karmic. Okay,
yeah, the karmic law. Yeah. So all this is an illusion because there are no first one nor last ones.
Right.
But simply a state where patience is paramount in distilling the life lessons until we grow and become a love apprentice.
Right.
So he realized that the consciousness of most people who came to listen to him is always hiding behind a wall of habits, pretexts, and fears, And he's then forced to shake them constantly using the Christic energy.
Clearing the room. Yeah.
And there is not a single day, again, that Yeshua does not heal people, and sometimes dozens of them. And as long as he is not talking too much, the synagogue owners are very discreet and they are ignoring him.
Okay.
They are very happy, He's married, he's not talking too much, he's healing people. That's okay.
Right.
We can handle that. And when Yeshua was healing people with leprosy that were chased with stones, because people are concerned that they may be infected by this disease, the Pharisees and the Sadducees would say, let them, forget about them. If they are like this, it is because their soul is dirty.
Oh my gosh.
Right? The Eternal wants to punish them, and that's why they have gotten leprosy.
Maybe the divine was trying to teach them unconditional love, like you still love me, he's still a human being suffering, right?
Yeshua had heard that, in the city of Yeshua in India, it was a little bit the same behavior, again, from the member of the clergy over there,
Right.
And these comments were upsetting him.
Yeah,
and he was, then sometimes starting an oral duel with the Pharisee and the Sadducees, And this was irritating mostly for the Pharisee from Capernaum, and it was also those oral arguments, were actually amusing for the Roman soldier, who were not really concerned by all of this.
Right.
They were just watching,
just observing
the tall rabbi in white argue with a bunch of Pharisees and Sadducees, However, contrary to what the scriptures are telling, Yeshua never complained or criticized the people in position of power. It would have never been good, and it was incompatible with the river of peace that was flowing through his heart. Okay? So Yeshua is always demanding, he's always energetic, and he loves the power of words. However, he would never go against the aggression, contrary to what Matthew has been reporting in the Bible in 10:20, 11:21, 12:34, and 12:39. So Matthew obviously had a lot of stuff
and a lot
to
to say.
Yeah, which were wrong and false. So the most important for Yeshua was to never judge. You shall not judge. Okay. So among the healings, there were all kinds of people. There were, of course, people from Palestine, but there was also Romans There was the aid of a centurion. There was a few blind people and numerous paralyzed people. So one day, there was so much healing that the whole disciple group, and especially Eliazar, they couldn't hold it. They said, "How do you do it, Master?" And this is, I guess, the teaching of that we are going to try to convey today.
Okay.
How do you do it, Master? Tell us. We want to know. And again, it's Eliazar representing the 108 people who are gathered around Yeshua. So how to explain how a healing was taking place? Miracles were happening because rivers and torrents of life were infinitely clean in Yeshua. Okay? There was no algae, no garbage, nothing was carried by their waters. Okay, so he's using the rivers and the torrents, as an image for the nadis of energy circulating through his body. And the reason was very simple. Its name was simplicity and will. Love would result from that. On that day, Yeshua wants to go deeper and tell his disciples a secret. And he said, each creature is similar to a temple and its original blueprint. So that's why we are naming that episode, the blueprint of the temple. That blueprint is used to keep the memory of the original idea of what you were supposed to be. Okay? Thus, in each of us exists a similar blueprint having exactly all the data and all the perfection of our conception.
Okay.
That blueprint is very precious and is stored in a very safe location, which is your heart. And what is your heart? It contains the total memory since your origin. It has the memory of your soul and all of your successive personalities since the beginning of time. But it also has the perfect blueprint of your body, of its schema and its working instructions in this lifetime. Okay. But in regard of all this, he told his disciples, you are free. You're free to not maintain your temple, right?
Free will.
You are free to neglect certain pieces of it, certain functions of your temple. You're free to expose it to fights, aggressions, until it is more or less totally destroyed. You are free to poison it. You're free to do stupid things with it, right? You're even free to forget that you are a temple and not love yourself. That is to say, to despise the initial seal of what created you. And I think it's so important when we say, I'm so sick, I'm this. I mean, when you express negative things, your body listens to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The body listens to all of it.
You are going against the blueprint that was put inside you.
Right. Oh, we have to be so careful with what we say to ourselves and other people. Very careful.
And so Yeshua continues and, telling his disciple, the last end of freedom is this, and it is called oblivion. But what is forgetting in you? It is not your soul. Oblivion is the nature of your multiple personality. Your soul resides near your heart, linked to your incorruptible spirit. Your soul is keeping the perfect initial plan. And again, we can relate that to the germ atom or the seed atom, right? Which has all the recording of our previous lifetimes and the recording of that blueprint.
Right.
So, disciples, if you're asking me what I'm doing to heal men and women, I am seeking the initial plan where it is located in the heart. And then I bring the plan at the surface of their life, all the way to their flesh. At this point, the plan will remodel them to their original perfection.
So I can start over again.
So that's a secret, right? You have to extract from the heart the original blueprint, bring it to the surface to the atom
Right.
of the body, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the healing takes place.
Okay.
And this is how spontaneous, it's a principle of spontaneous healing that you call a miracle. That's how it works. So what is the active force that allows me to do that? What allows me to know that the temple, remember, is planned? It is the compassion. This connection with the initial memory with which I am one and which neutralizes all borders between my heart and those that suffers. So I think, we mentioned that before, the compassion that we should have toward people who are suffering.
Right.
Instead of rejecting them or neglecting them or disregarding them,
Mm-hmm.
we should feel what they are going through.
Right.
So again, Yeshua tells his disciple, therefore, if you aspire to heal the souls and the bodies, do not expect me to open the doors. Instead, you have to drink the sun until you are soaked with it. Only then will the miracles happen.
So you're saying to
So
the
always
energy.
his favorite expression, you have to
Mm-hmm.
drink the sun or the
Mm-hmm.
sunshine, right? The light. So after a little while, this teaching did not bring any questions from the circle of the 108 disciples. Instead, everyone was deep inside in a very prolonged silence.
That was a pretty deep information that he was giving them.
Yes.
Because today it would be something not everybody would understand that.
No. And I suspect that even healers, people who have the capability, the gift of healing,
mm-hmm.
may be doing that without actually knowing exactly what they're doing.
Well, I guess it's about surrendering
to
the divine.
Yes.
Who will then lead you to be able to heal people.
Right. And having that compassion channel
mm-hmm.
open. So Eliazar at this point, got up and obviously, maybe it was too much for him or he couldn't handle it. And he started walking away and disappeared into the tall reeds and the bamboos, on the shores of the lake. And Yeshua is guessing what is happening, Eliazar's sensitivity was fully enabled,
Right.
I think that lesson, that teaching really took him to the edge, And after a while, once the group is gone, Yeshua goes back and finds Eliazar crying on the edge of the lake.
Oh.
Yeah. And Eliazar tells Yeshua, drink the sunshine, drink the sunshine. I mean, Yo-Hanan was also saying that. And look what happened to him.
Oh, yeah.
So Yeshua goes, trying to comfort him. He said, Eliazar, today you heard my words with your head. You're judging with your mind.
Mm-hmm.
All this remains the domain of philosophers. Are you a philosopher?
Yes.
Am I a philosopher?
Yes.
No. Now, do you accept to go down with me to the center of your chest?
Mm-hmm.
It is there that you must store the pearls of your consciousness and understanding so that they can develop.
Mm-hmm.
So Eliazar goes, Master, you are asking if I accept it? I only want that. He's very motivated.
Yeah.
And Yeshua responds, but what is it in you who wants it? Which part of you says, I want?
Is it the ego or is it the
ego?
heart?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Eliazar says, I do not have an ego. And Yeshua goes, do you think that? I see it, and I'm proposing you to redefine it. Eliazar, are you ready to die and squelch that ego? Is your soul ready to be transformed? So a few days later, Eliazar and Yeshua are leaving for the desert. So Yeshua has probed the being of Eliazar. He has seen that Eliazar is sick of memories of roles he had in previous lifetimes, He has also seen that humility and withdrawal are completing the work, and that his clear soul is screaming for a more intense light. So he's ready for something.
He's ready. He's ready for
He's
it.
ready. Yeah. Time has come for that soul to enter another phase of its mutation. And that's very important. So Yeshua is explaining all this to Eliazar. And Eliazar understands that he's going to die. He's going to drop his previous existence.
The mini death.
The mini death, yeah. So what Yeshua has in mind requires a very strict preparation that the desert alone can offer through silence and isolation, right? And Yeshua remember that he had experienced the sepulcher in Egypt, in the Great Pyramid, right? And Eliazar was going to do it too, but in a very different way, right? It would be 40 days of preparation in the desert. And I think people have to relate that 40 days with the fasting that takes place for the Muslim people, right? For 40 days, right? This is about cleaning your body of its debris and sickness.
It's a cleansing.
It's a big cleansing, but it's more than the body, right? It goes beyond cleaning the ego and also your mind, yeah. So
which then opens up that
that path to the spirit, yeah. So Yeshua and Eliazar are leaving Bethsaida at dawn. They walk south. They are passing Jericho. They are crossing the Yarad River, and they are trying to find a place with absolute solitude. They cannot be disturbed by anybody. And during the trip, Eliazar would like to talk, but Yeshua maintains a complete silence. There is no
talking,
no exception. It is important to get prepared, as the initiation is a very dangerous challenge. And I think, for our audience, this is called the first initiation, right? Which takes about 3 days to complete. 40 days of preparation and 3 days to complete the initiation. And they finally arrive near rocks where there is a little brook running that will provide them with some water. So the next day, it's not surprising, but Eliazar is taken by a very big fever, which is forcing him to lay down, and he's actually shivering in the heat of the desert. So the process of detoxification has started.
Right.
And Eliazar understands the process. All the poisons inside his body, energetic body, physical body, energetic body, and emotional bodies needs to be clean as much as possible. And this is required to go through what we call the little death. 3 days in a tomb, and come out on the 4th days with a new identity. Okay. And Yeshua goes to Eliazar and he tells him, you will have to choose a new name, my brother, after the 3 days in the tomb. And Eliazar goes, I have already chosen it, master. Do you want to know? No, keep it for the time of your rebirth. So after 40 days in the desert, Eliazar and Yeshua are living their little refuge in silence. And interestingly, there is a small family of wild foxes which is watching them leave the place. And for our audience who have been following the various episodes, the morning before his initiation in the Great Pyramid, Yeshua was actually awakened by a little wild fox who came to lick his forehead and his face.
Wake up!
So the next episode, of course, will be what the Bible has called the resurrection of Lazarus. The famous stuff, which makes no sense at all, but we will explain it. It is an initiation that Eliazar is taking, and at the end of it, he will take a new name.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the resurrection of Lazarus. But we will explain why they had to do that.
Right.
And this obsession with the resurrecting the flesh.
And they probably didn't even know it either, right? They didn't know.
No, they didn't know.
They didn't
because
know
none of the people who wrote this stuff went through an initiation.
Right.
They had no clue.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.